All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about Alvin Kamara looking for a new contract and just kind of my thoughts. Does he deserve a new contract with the Saints? So let's get into it. So Kamara was not present on the field during the final mandatory minicamp practice for the Saints. His absence is due to a contract situation confirmed by his agent. And I wanted to get into what Dennis Allen had to say, the head coach of the Saints, on this situation. So he said, Kamara was here for walkthrough this morning, and then he went in, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so I'm not sure why he wasn't out there for the rest of practice. And I think that's the last quote. Yeah. So, I mean, he really wasn't aware of the situation. And yeah, Kamara, he has 2 years left on a 5-year, $75 million extension that he signed in 2020, and his upcoming cap hit is $18.5 million in 2024 and $29 million in 2025. His AAV is $15 million, making him the second highest paid running back behind Christian McCaffrey. Discussions have been ongoing for months on a contract restructure, but there really hasn't been any progress. And Kamara last year, he rushed for 694 yards, 5 touchdowns, career low in rushing yards. But, we look at him more as a receiving back. Caught 75 passes for 466 yards and 1 touchdown. He averaged 4.5 yards per touch, the lowest of his career. So he was Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2017 with 1,554 scrimmage yards and 13 total touchdowns. He's been to 5 Pro Bowls and selected to the 2-time All-Pro. Led the NFL in touchdowns in 2020 with 21. Scored 19 touchdowns over the past 3 seasons. So when you look at that, I don't think he deserves a new deal, in my opinion. I think the Saints are a team that's kind of, they've dealt with some cap issues. You look at their cap space, and how many times have we looked at it, and it's like, what was it, like $50 million over the cap or $40? It's like some ridiculous number, some crooked number. And it's like, how are they able to, deal with that? And I just feel like Kamara, his best days are behind him. Now, that doesn't mean that I think he's completely washed. I think he could still help out a team in the right situation. But I feel like it's time that the Saints maybe move off of Kamara, in my opinion. And I don't know, maybe if it's just me being bitter for, him not being that good in fantasy last year. No, I feel like, he's 28 now. And, again, touchdowns were down. His average yards, 4.5 yards per touch, that was the lowest of his career. I don't know, and maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just how the Saints were using him. But I just feel like I think the Saints should move off of him, in my opinion. I mean, you already saw them move off of Michael Thomas. Now, it's not like Alvin Kamara had to fall off like Michael Thomas, where he's never playing and he's really doing nothing for your team. But I do think that maybe it's time. You got a young running back in Kendre Miller. See what you have in him. You still got Jamal Williams there. I think it's time maybe you move off of Kamara and maybe you try to save some money and, you don't give him this new deal. Maybe you see this new deal. Well, I mean, if he doesn't get his new deal, he might not even play, so he might hold out. But yeah, I if I'm the Saints, I'm not trying to give Kamara a new deal because, it seems like he's declining. And maybe a lot of that has to do with, you also had Drew Brees not being there. Because, Drew Brees, he checked it down to Kamara a lot. But, yeah, when I look at Alvin Kamara, he's not like a Derrick Henry that's going to, run in between the tackles. And, he does do that. But, Kamara we look at more as a receiving back. And, look, I think he's a solid player. And, he's done well since he came into the league back in 2017. But, it's just one of those things. He plays a position where, you're going to age faster. And I just feel like, we're kind of in that territory right now with him. So I don't think the Saints should give him a new deal. I think see if another team wants to maybe take on the contract and maybe give him a new deal. I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, but that's just me. If I'm the Saints, I'm not giving Kamara a new deal. I mean, we don't really know what they have in the young running back because we haven't really seen what he could do. But if they cut ties with Kamara, then maybe we'll see. And you got Jamal Williams there, who they also signed. So I think you're fine. You could Jamal Williams has proven that he can handle the workload. But actually, Jamal Williams also he was drafted in Kamara's draft class. He got drafted by the Packers. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the Saints are a team that I really haven't talked about a lot, and they're a team I don't really know. I mean, I think what did I have them at? Eight or 9 wins this upcoming season. Yeah, and I like some of the players they got, Olave and Shaheed on offense. And we'll see if Derek Carr can carry over what he did last year into this year, or towards the end of last year. But yeah, the Saints are an interesting team. So we'll keep an eye on what happens with this Kamara situation. But in my opinion, yeah, I don't know if I'm looking to give him another contract because I just don't think. I don't think towards the end of the contract, I don't think with the new contract he's not going to get any better. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, another team I think, would be interested in his services if the Saints were to cut ties with him. I don't know what team that would be, but I think he would definitely generate some interest. But then again, he could also be like Dalvin Cook, who's still out there, and he, nobody's, running to get him. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, that's really my thoughts on it. He's not there. He's looking for a new contract. It doesn't seem like... I mean, discussions have been ongoing, like I said, but it doesn't seem like there's really been any movement. And I don't think they really should. I don't think the Saints should budge. I don't think they should give Kamara a new contract. But that, again, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think that Kamara deserves another contract? Should the Saints give him a new contract, or should the Saints cut ties with him? I think they should. I think also just because, yeah, I mean, the cap situation is not the best. And, yeah, I think it's time you get rid of some of these guys. They might have to go into a I think that's a team that I could see that just goes into a full-on rebuild at some point. Because if Derek Carr doesn't deliver, well, yeah, I think you might have to go into a full rebuild. Because the cap situation is just, again, it's been a mess for a while, and yeah, I mean it's just the Saints have kind of just been, middle of the pack team since Drew Brees retired. They haven't made the playoffs since he retired. They almost made it last year, but they got hot at the end of the year, but it was too little, too late. There was Sean Payton's last year when I think they finished 9-8, but they just missed the playoffs. And then he left, and Dennis Allen came in, and it was supposed to be Jameis's team, but that just never really panned out. Well, not that Dennis Allen was there, but he kind of just got promoted. But yeah, what record did they finish in 22? Because 21 they went 9-8. What was the Saints' record in 2022? That's the last thing we'll talk about. Well, that's the last thing we'll touch upon before we... Oh, yeah, that's right. Because that was the year the Bucs finished 8-9. That was Brady's last year. Yeah, so they finished 8-9, and everybody else finished 7-10. Yeah. So, but they finished 9-8 with Derek Carr, so, we'll see what they... again, it's not a powerhouse division, the NFC South. So, anything is possible. But... yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today, though. Again, any comments on Alvin Kamara, if he deserves a new deal or not from the Saints, let me know in the comments. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows. I know the championships that we have going on have been just very lackluster. You got the NBA Finals. That's 3-0. And the Stanley Cup is 3-0. The Panthers won again last night. So it's just not really that exciting. So those series look like they'll be wrapping up in the coming days. And yeah, make sure to check out all the other shows, get the perspective on those two championships, and all the other sports as well that we have on the network. Make sure to check them out. Everybody's been doing a great job. And yeah, so with that, that is all the time we have for today. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again on Monday, same time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and, well, also have a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys on Monday. Take care.